You don't remember when it started feeling like this. That's the part nobody warns you about. They think there's a moment, a breakup, a failure, a bad boss, some clean event you can point to and say, that's when my life went off track. But that's now how it happens. It happens quietly, gradually, between meetings, between train stops, between cups of coffee you didn't even taste. You wake up one morning and realize you've been living someone else's version of success for so long that you forgot what your own voice sounds like. Tonight, you're on the rooftop, not because it's romantic, not because it's cinematic, but because it's the only place in the city where you can breathe without someone needing something from you. The concrete is still warm from the day. The wind smells like metal and rain and exhaustion. Below you, traffic moves like blood through veins that never get to rest. You hold a cup of coffee in your hands, not because you are tired, because it gives your hands something to do while your mind finally stops running. You lean against the railing, look at the skyline, and for the first time in a long time, you don't feel inspired by it. You feel trapped by it. Every glowing office window feels like a confession. Every lit floor is someone still inside, still typing, still pretending this is what they wanted. You wonder how many of them feel exactly like you do right now, and that's when the thought hits you, slow, heavy, undeniable. If this is winning, why does it feel like I'm losing myself? You don't say it out loud. You have learned not to. In the city, vulnerability is expensive. People either sell it back to you as motivation or weaponize it as weakness. So you keep it inside. But it doesn't stay quiet. It presses against your ribs, against your throat, against the version of you that used to believe life was supposed to feel alive. You remember when you first came here, the excitement, the lies you told yourself felt noble back then. I'll grind for a few years. This is temporary. Once I'm stable, then I'll live. Funny how temporary can quietly turn into a decade. Funny how later keeps moving further away the closer you get to it. Your phone buzzes in your pocket, an email, still working hours, still expectations. You don't check it. That alone feels rebellious. You take a sip of coffee. It's bitter, cold, just like the routines you've been swallowing with question. And suddenly, without planning to, you whisper, I don't want this anymore. The words scare you, not because they're dramatic, but because they're honest. And honesty has consequences. Honesty means admitting that the life you built doesn't fit the person you became. Honesty means realizing that no one is coming to save you from this. No mentor, no promotion, no perfect relationship, just you. Standing on a rooftop in a city that never slows down, finally acknowledging the truth you've been dodging for years. You're not burnt out, you're misaligned, and that's worse, because rest won't fix it, vacations won't fix it, new gadgets won't fix it, even more money won't fix it, because the problem isn't exhaustion, it's disconnection. You look at the horizon, the sun is sinking, bleeding orange and gold between buildings that cost too much and promise too little. And for the first time, a dangerous question forms. What would my life look like if I stopped living it for approval? Not answered, not yet. But once a question like that enters your system, it doesn't leave quietly. You finish the coffee, you set the cup down beside you, and as the city hums below, something subtle shifts. No motivation, not confidence, not courage, just awareness. And awareness is where every real transformation begins. You don't know it yet, but this rooftop is the first place you told yourself the truth. And once the truth is spoken, the old life starts cracking. Morning comes without asking if you're ready. It never does. Your alarm goes off at the same time it always does. Not because your body wants to wake up, but because the system does. You reach for the phone before you even open your eyes. Emails, Slack notifications, calendar reminders stacked like dominoes. Before your feet touch the floor, your mind is already at work. That's how they win. The apartment feels smaller in the morning, the walls closer, the ceiling lower. You shower in autopilot, watching water run over a body that feels more like a vehicle than a home. Mirror, towel, clothes chosen for you by expectation, not desire. Somewhere along the way, you stopped dressing like yourself and started dressing like someone who needed to be taken seriously. Outside, the city is already awake, not alive. Awake. There's a difference. People move fast without looking at each other. Eyes down, headphones in. Everyone protecting what little mental space they have left. You join them. You always do. The train is packed, bodies pressed together, pretending not to notice each other. You catch your reflection in the window, suit, neutral expression, eyes slightly dulled, like someone who's learned not to expect too much. You look capable, that's the word they'd use. Reliable, professional, put together. No one would guess how much of you didn't make it onto this train. The office smells like coffee and recycled air. Keycards beep, elevators sigh. You step into your floor and immediately feel it, that subtle tightening in your chest. The place where your personality goes quiet, where your opinions become talking points, where your time is no longer yours. Your desk waits exactly where you left it. Same screen, same chair, same unspoken agreement. You give us your hours, we give you just enough to keep going. You log in, and just like that, you disappear. Meetings blur together. People talk in circles using words that sound important but land nowhere. Alignment, bandwidth, deliverables, optics. You nod at the right moments. Smile when expected. You've mastered the art of looking engaged while feeling completely absent. That skill alone has probably earned you half your promotions. At some point, your boss says your name, you snap back into the room, answer smoothly, everyone nods, then you think you are sharp. They don't know you were somewhere else entirely. On that rooftop, watching the sun fall between buildings, realizing this life no longer fits. Lunch is eaten at your desk, again, not because you didn't have time, but because leaving would mean admitting there is more to life than this rectangle of responsibility. You scroll while you eat, people living in other cities, other lives, other timelines. Somewhere deep down, a voice whispers, they could have been you. You silence it with another bite. The afternoon drags. Your body stays upright while your soul clocks out early. This is the part no one talks about, the way a job can slowly teach you to shrink, not violently, politely. Until one day you realize you haven't said what you actually think in years. By 5:30 p.m., you're drained in a way sleep won't fix. You shut down your computer, gather your things, say your goodbyes in the same tone everyone else uses. Light, neutral, non-committal. No one asks how you're really doing. That would slow things down. Back outside, the city feels louder, angrier, like it knows you gave it another day without asking for anything back. You walk toward the train, surrounded by people just like you, educated, capable, quietly suffocating. And a thought lands heavier than the rest. If I keep doing this, I'll wake up one day and realize I lived an entire life without being present for it. That night, when you lie in bed staring at the ceiling, you don't feel dramatic. You feel clear, clear enough to understand something important. This isn't burnout. This is grief. Grief for the version of you that thought life would feel more like living. And once you name that grief, you can't unfeel it. There was a moment you don't remember the date, but you remember the feeling. That quiet fork in the road where no one clapped, no one warned you, and no sign said this choice will change everything. You were younger then, not naive, just open. Back then, you still talked about what you wanted, not in speeches, in fragments. I might try. Someday I will. I don't want to end up stuck. Those sentences used to come naturally before you learned which dreams made people uncomfortable. You remembered the room where it happened. Maybe it was a kitchen table, maybe a college office, maybe a living room with tired furniture and older voices. Someone leaned forward and said it quietly. Be realistic, not cruel, not aggressive, just practical. They didn't say give up. They didn't say be smart. They didn't say abandon yourself. They said play it safe. And because they loved you, or at least believed they did, you listened. You told yourself it was temporary, just for now, just until things stabilize, just until you get a foot on the door. You made a deal with yourself that night. I'll do this job, and then I'll live. You didn't know then that then is a word that keeps moving. The first paycheck felt good, relieving, like exhaling after holding your breath too long. You thought, see, this works. Rent paid, groceries bought, anxiety softened. For the first time in a while, life felt manageable. And that's how it got you, because manageable slowly becomes permanent. You stopped asking big questions. You started saying things like, this is just how it is. Everyone feels this way. At least I'm not struggling. You learned to downplay your restlessness, to call it ambition, to call it stress, to call it adulthood. And when someone asked you what you really wanted now, you hesitated. Not because you didn't know, but because you hadn't checked in with that part of yourself in years. There were signs. There always are. Sunday nights that have felt heavier than they should. Vacations that didn't refresh you. Moments of envy towards strangers living lives you couldn't explain. You told yourself it was just fatigue. You were wrong. What you were feeling was the quiet protest of a self that had been postponed too long. You remember the first time you felt it clearly. Maybe standing at a window late at night, city lights blinking like 1,000 unanswered questions. You thought, is this it? And immediately corrected yourself. Don't be ungrateful. That correction became automatic. Every time truth surfaced, you pushed it back down. Not out of weakness, out of conditioning. You were praised for being dependable, promoted for being adaptable, trusted for not rocking the boat, and slowly, subtly, the version of you that once wanted more learned to stay quiet. Like a child told to lower their voice in a room full of adults. But here's what no one tells you. That part of you doesn't disappear. It waits. It waits through meetings, through milestones, through applause that doesn't quite land. It waits until the city goes quiet at night, and then it asks again, is this really the life you mean to build? Lying in bed now, years later, that question feels louder, not dramatic, not desperate, just steady, like it's done waiting. You realize something uncomfortable. No one forced you here. You chose this path because it made sense at the time. And that's what makes leaving it feel terrifying. Because walking away doesn't mean rejecting failure. It means questioning a decision you once defended with everything you had. You turn onto your side, the city hums outside, and for the first time you don't push the thought away. You let it sit, heavy, honest, unresolved. Somewhere deep inside, a realization forms, slow but undeniable. The life you postponed didn't disappear. It's just been waiting for you to come back. And once you feel that, there's no going back to pretending. You didn't come up here for inspiration. You came up here because the apartment felt too small for your thoughts, because the walls were closing in with expectations, deadlines, reminders of who you're supposed to be by now. So you climbed one stairwell, one elevator, one locked door someone forgot to secure, and suddenly, space. The rooftop doesn't try to impress you. No speeches, no promises. Just concrete, wind, and a sky that doesn't care about your calendar. The city looks different from up here. Not powerful, not glamorous, just busy. Thousands of windows glowing at once, each holding a version of someone telling themselves the same lie. I'll rest later. You lean against the railing, metal cold against your palms, and for the first time all day, no one needs anything from you. No emails, no Slack pings, no polite urgency. Just breathe. Down below, traffic crawls like a nervous organism that forgot how to stop. From up here, it almost looks harmless. That's when it hits you. The city only feels overwhelming when you're inside it. Step back even slightly and its authority weakens. You sip your coffee. It tastes different up here. Not better, truer, less rushed, like even the bitterness has softened. You realize how rarely you look at the sky anymore. Not glance, look. Not while walking, not between tasks. Really look. The sunset doesn't perform. It doesn't ask to be photographed. It just unfolds, slow, patient, unapologetic. Orange dissolving into pink, pink surrendering to blue. No urgency, no optimization. Just time passing the way it was meant to. And something in you loosens, not dramatically, just enough to notice how tense you've been for years. You think about how much effort it takes to appear composed, how exhaustion has become your default state, how rest feels guilty instead of natural. Up here, that guilt fades. The sky doesn't reward productivity. The wind doesn't care about promotions. The sun sets whether you hit your targets or not. You ask yourself a dangerous question. Who am I when no one is watching? The answer doesn't come in words. It comes as a feeling, a quiet recognition. You're not lazy. You're tired of living a life that never lets you arrive. You're not unmotivated. You're misaligned. The city taught you to move fast, think small, and stay grateful for cages with good lighting. But standing here, watching day dissolve into night, you remember something ancient. Life was never meant to feel like constant endurance. A breeze cuts across the rooftop, cooler now, sharper. It wakes you up in a way caffeine never does. You realize this isn't about quitting tomorrow or burning everything down. It's about honesty, about admitting that the version of success you inherited doesn't fit you anymore. Down there, the city keeps running. It doesn't notice your pause. It doesn't punish you for stopping. And that's when you understand. You've been giving the system more loyalty than it's ever given you. The lights flicker one by one. Night claims the skyline. And instead of dread, you feel something unfamiliar. Clarity. Not answers. Direction. You finish your coffee, cold now, but you don't mind. Some realizations don't need to be warm to be real. Before you head back down, one thought settles deep in your chest. If you can step outside the noise once, you can learn it to do it again. And maybe, just maybe, the life you're meant to claim doesn't start with escape, but choosing where you stand. Morning doesn't announce itself anymore. No birds, no softness. Just an alarm ripping you out of sleep like a demand. Your eyes open before your body's ready. There's that familiar weight in your chest, not dread exactly, but something close. Responsibility without meaning. The ceiling looks the same as yesterday. So does the thought. Already? You lie still for a moment, not resting, calculating how much energy you'll need to perform today. Your phone is already alive, notifications stacking up like unpaid debts. Emails from people who woke up earlier than you, messages that feel urgent simply because they exist. You silence it, just for 60 seconds, a small rebellion. Your body aches in places you never injured. Tight neck, heavy legs, a jaw you didn't realize you were clenching in your sleep. This is the cost no one lists, not burnout, not breakdown, just slow erosion. You sit up, the room feels quiet but not peaceful. It's the kind of quiet that comes from exhaustion, not calm. Coffee becomes ritual instead of pleasure. You don't taste it, you consume it. Fuel, not joy. As the cup warms your hands, a thought slips in, uninvited but honest. If this is the price of stability, why do you feel so unstable? You think about weekends that disappear too fast, about Sundays that feel like countdowns instead of rest, about vacations that don't actually remove the weight, just pause it. You've learned to function while tired, to smile while drained, to call it adulthood. But here's the truth no one says out loud. If your mornings feel like survival, something is already wrong. You scroll through your calendar, meetings about meetings, deadlines that create nothing you'll remember in 5 years. And suddenly it hits you. You don't hate work, you hate that your life only exists around it. You finish your coffee, still tired, still upright, still showing up. That's the part people admire, the resilience, the consistency, the grind. But resilience without reward becomes self-betrayal. You catch your reflection in the mirror, same face, older eyes, a quieter version of yourself staring back like it wants to ask something but doesn't know how. So you ask it, silently, is this what I am protecting? No answer. Just a heavy pause. You get dressed, muscle memory, outfit chosen for acceptability, not expression. As you reach for the door, a realization lands, calm, terrifying, clear. Nothing is wrong enough to force change, and that's the most dangerous place to be. Not broken, just numb. You step outside, the city wakes up around you, people moving fast, no one looking up, everyone pretending this pace is normal. And as you merge into the flow, one thought stays with you like a quiet hum. If this is the cost, what am I actually paying with? There's a phrase you repeat without realizing it, not out loud, inside, soft enough to feel harmless. One day. One day I'll slow down. One day I'll breathe again. One day I'll do what I actually want. It sounds hopeful. It feels responsible, but it's a lie designed to keep you functional. To tell yourself this lie in elevators, in traffic, in meetings that stretch past meaning. Not now, later, after this phase, and the phase never ends. It just changes names. First it was school, then it was the first job, then the promotion, then the next level of pressure that came with it. Each time you said, Just get enough this part. Just get through it. But survival quietly replaced living. You didn't choose this consciously. No one does. It happens slowly, politely, with benefits and paychecks and praise. You became reliable, efficient, adaptable. And somewhere along the way, you stopped asking yourself real questions. Not because you didn't care, because you were tired. Is this enough? Felt dangerous. Do I even want this? Felt ungrateful. So you delayed the conversation with yourself. Promise you'd return to it later. But later is a slippery thing. Later moves when you're not looking. You start measuring life in tolerable units. This week is fine, this month is manageable, this year is acceptable. And suddenly 5 years have passed. You don't remember deciding to stay. You just never left. That's how the lie works. It doesn't trap you with fear. It comforts you with patience. You scroll past posts of people who left the city, who changed paths, who look lighter somehow. You tell yourself stories to stay calm. They're lucky, they had support, they'll regret it. And maybe some of them will, but the story isn't about them. It's about you, because deep down, beneath the noise, you already know this. If you don't choose differently, nothing will change. Not dramatically, not suddenly, just slowly enough that it feels safe. The lie of one day keeps you obedient, keeps you hopeful without demanding courage. But here's the quiet truth. One day isn't coming, not on its own. It has to be interrupted. And for the first time in a long time, the thought scares you and steadies you at the same time. Because if one day isn't guaranteed, then maybe today matters more than you've been admitting. You don't act yet, you're not ready. That's okay. But the lie has cracked, and once you see it, you can't unsee it.